So I have been covering Neural Cloud for roughly the last month and a half, because this game genuinely looks like something I would be interested in. Now, I have been reached out to by the studio behind the game to take a sponsored look at it, and admittedly I turned that down. They offered a surprisingly large amount of money given the size of my channel, but I want to do a dedicated video on it without having people associated with being sponsored and therefore attacking the legitimacy of my thoughts and impressions. But that is not what this video is about. This video specifically is concerning the global closed beta test, which began officially today. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of the absolute chads and chadettes that support this channel via Patreon. You're all freaking legends. Seriously, each and every single one of you. I would offer to give each of you a kiss, but I suffer from severe intimacy issues. Additionally, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest MMO gacha and gaming news, take a second here to follow Mrs. Stix and I over on Twitter. We tweet daily. And by today, I mean the 18th of October, which is the day that I'm recording this video, not the day that I'm posting the video. The day I'm posting the video is October 19th. Now, the tweet that went on to directly announce the beta admittedly used a very appealing image. I'm not a furry, but I do like my anthropomorphic waifus. I think that's what anthropomorphic means, right? Yeah, okay, so when I Google anthropomorphic waifus, one of the first results is Akagi and Kaga from Azure Lane. Now, the tweet itself goes on to state, "Dear Professor, thank you for your patience. Neural Cloud's closed beta test will start on October 18th at 6:30. Please follow our social media channels for more info." And naturally, immediately, you have people complaining that they did not get into the beta. They then went on to make a separate follow-up tweet stating, "Dear professors, an email has been sent to those who have made it into the closed beta test. Please check your inbox for it and download the game if you are among the lucky ones. On top of that, another 20 professors who have retweeted this tweet will be selected to take part in the closed beta test." So, for those of you that were unaware, this is very important. If you applied to the Neural Cloud closed beta test, check your email. You may have got accepted and you just didn't know about it yet. Admittedly, they actually made a third follow-up tweet. This one was less than an hour ago. This was not there when I had opened my Twitter earlier today, but this one goes on to state, "Dear Professor, Neural Cloud's closed beta test has already begun." I'm assuming they made this because there were people complaining that they couldn't get into the beta because the game was claiming it was in maintenance mode. Now it's time for you to explore. Enjoy your time in Neural Cloud, Professor. Now, again, I will note, I was reached out to do a sponsored video on this. Again, I chose not to. I'm trying to formulate sentences here, but I cannot stop staring at the Fox girl's big eyes. They are very distracting. But since I turned it down, I actually had my access to the game retracted. So admittedly, I might need to wait until they either rectified this issue by providing me access once again, or I'll have to wait until a follow-up test phase. Now, interestingly enough, there were almost 1.5 million global pre-registrations. When I last did a video on this, I think there were only a couple 100,000, if that, and players were stating that the reason for the small turnout, for the lack of interest, was because people just didn't know about the game. Now, I believe that they could be fabricating numbers. I feel like the majority of gacha game developers, these studios, they do alter the front end of their website to kind of alter the narrative, I guess, of how popular their game is, because nobody wants to go ahead here and play a game that nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to play a game that has 50,000 people that are interested in it, as opposed to a game that has millions of people that are interested in it, and that makes sense. It's a sheep a herd mentality. Now, 1.5 million global pre-registrations is a fantastic number. It's more than Artery Gear Fusion had. I believe it's more than Counterside had, Grimlight, Alice Fiction, all these different gacha games that released this year. So this is very promising for the game's future. Now, I don't know if the game is any good. Honestly, I haven't had the opportunity to play it yet. I hope they reach out to me and they offer me the access that I had revoked. But if not, then I guess in the future sometime, I will have a dedicated video of my thoughts. You know what, until then, if you're not interested in Neural Cloud, that's perfectly fine. I have 2 different videos on screen right now that you might be interested in. One is a gacha that genuinely looks like it could be really good, releasing next year, that I urge you to take a look at. The other is a list of 5 incredible looking upcoming anime gacha games that you need to be aware of right now.